Friends 2.
Is Bleach Bangs Music, and we are sitting in with Mixi from Stitched Up Heart in Oklahoma City. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. How's Oklahoma City treating you guys?
So far, we went to a Planet Fitness, and actually Steel Panther just got a membership too, so we all just worked out this morning together. And they have I was like, there's a tanning bed, your butts can be the same color as your cheeks. And
that's cool. There was another band, they have a membership to...
It was Planet Fitness, I believe.
Yeah. And they're just like...
Use of the shower.
Yeah, this is the first tour that we've done that, and it was other bands that had told us,
cool.
you should try it. And we were like, wow, this is a game changer. It's nice. It's the cleanest we've ever been on the road.
How have the shows with Steel Panther been treating you? Have you any wild, crazy stories?
Well, I can't tell everything. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't, we don't talk about. But, I was curious to see what kind of fan base they would have. Being a female fronted rock band, and then they have jokes about that stuff, and I was like, are guys gonna ask me to show my boobs or something?
Right.
What's gonna happen? But it's actually been, everybody's super ready to rock. Immediately they're just ready to go, and so it's everybody's just, it's a huge response that we didn't expect to get, surprisingly, actually. Cool. And it's been really, really fun.
Finally free back in 2016. You were played on Sirius. How do you think that kind of jump-started your guys' career?
Well, Finally Free kind of took its own legs. Octane started playing it, and then they have a really good way of telling whether or not the listeners actually like the song, if they switch the station within the song.
Yep.
And people seemed to like it, so they started putting on hyper rotation, and then there were more requests, and then once they like it, then their other radio stations picked it up, and it organically just did that.
That is so cool.
Based off of the listener.
So cool.
And so we didn't even know what active rock charts were. We had no idea anything about radio. It was all new to us. And then we had a couple more singles hit the charts as well after that. So we're actually about to release another one and do another campaign.
What is your favorite song to perform live?
Warrior probably is my favorite right now, and Lost. So those two kind of together, because Lost, obviously, it's featuring Sully Erna of Godsmack.
Right.
He's not on every tour we do, so we just fly him into every show.
Not a special guest,
right? Just keep him in our back pocket.
There's a Sully up there.
Yeah, we have a Sully in the trailer. So I get to collaborate with other artists and stuff. So It's been a lot of bands that we go out with. Actually, we have the guy that went out with us on tour with Godsmack. His name's Cody. He was actually just doing some tech stuff and helping out, and he's a really good singer. And I was
awesome.
Well, if Sully can't do it on the Godsmack tour, we'll just have you sing. And he started getting really good at it when Sully couldn't make it. So then we took him on this tour too, because we're just come along.
That's cool. That's good stuff.
It's kind of nice.
Good. I was wondering how you were going to pull that off.
I can actually sing the parts myself. I mean, I have a couple times, but yeah, it's all I don't want to ask people hey, would you want to sing with me? Oh, the drummer sings also. He's pointing the finger at his face right now, what about me? But yeah, as far as collaborating, it's been pretty cool to get some people that we wouldn't normally do that with up on stage.
That's really cool. That was one of my questions. How did that come about with Sully? I mean, how did that just...
It was a couple years in the making, actually, because we became friends a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, based off the label just kind of put us together to collaborate in the beginning of this writing cycle for Darkness. Those two songs didn't make the cut along with 60 others. So, but eventually in the end, we just became friends. We just became really, really close. He was just one of those people, where you just immediately click with. I didn't want to ask him for favors because I don't like pulling that card, but some people pushed me into it. They were like, hey, just ask him if he'd want to sing on something. I'm like, okay. And, all I can say is no.
Right.
And he was like, as long as it's the right song. So it took us months to figure out which song it was going to be. We were going to do a cover, and I wanted to do an original, and then everybody had their own ideas. Finally, the album was pretty much done. I was listening to Lost, and I was like, there's this really cool, like, heavy part that I feel like it could use some vocals over it.
Yeah.
And I asked management and all them, and they were like, yeah, that's cool. Let's see what he says. And he was like, yeah, this is a good song. Let's do it. So I was like, okay. Yeah, we got it.
Nice.
Now I got to get him in the studio. So that took another couple months. Yeah. It's a long process.
Oh, I'll bet.
Eventually, because he's like, I don't want to just email you my vocals and like that's not sentimental at all, you know. So he's like, I'm building our the Godsmack studio is moving down to Nashville, and we're going to be building that. So if you want to fly out to Nashville, he flew me first class. Ooh. I had like lasagna for breakfast. I don't know who eats that, but like, why do I need cheesecake for lunch?
That's because I could.
Yeah, just because it was 2 days, and the studio wasn't ready yet, and it was like I had to fly home the next morning, and it was like 9 p.m. the night before, and I was like, he's like, I don't think this is gonna happen. And I was like, no, I can't leave here without, like, you know. And
you're gonna have to fly me out here again.
Yeah. Oh darn. Please pick first class again. But actually, it's Nashville, so there's tons of you know, producers out there, and somebody just happened to be available. We went to his house and recorded his vocals, and when we were done with the tracking the vocals, he's like, well, who's going to sing my parts? And I'm like, well, you know, our guys can do it in the band, or if we're on tour with someone, you know, preferably you.
Right.
Like, and that's how the tour happened.
That's
so it kind of
cool.
a couple years in the making.
That is awesome. That is much better than I was hoping for. Do you guys have a special songwriting recipe that you follow when you're writing?
You know, we really threw paint a lot on this last record, where we, what's kind of been working for us is me and the guitar player will start it off, go into the studio, collaborate with a different producer, because with our band, the producer adds a new element.
Absolutely.
And we like to change things a little bit every record. So this one, it took him and I in finding the chemistry for the right producer. So we threw paint over here, we threw paint over here, we wrote some really awesome songs with a lot of really awesome people, and finally figured out after like 50 something songs that we wanted to go with Matt Good, who was the producer for this whole record. And it was just really where our heads were at for music and what we wanted to happen in the studio, where there's a lot of electronics. I wanted to add like elements of that into this next record and make it more modern sounding. So that's where he came in.
Okay.
And it really just came up with riffs, and you know, I write a lot of the melodies. Sometimes the producer will help me, guide me, add another note to make it even better.
That's what they're so good at.
Lyrics,
really
I am very adamant about, like, I want to write my own lyrics. You know, maybe if they throw a word or something in, I'm like, ooh, that's cool, but I'm like, I has to be coming from me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how am I supposed to connect with the song?
Yeah, totally agree. Totally
awesome.
Agree.
Yeah.
You got to make it believable up there.
Yeah, there was one song, I won't say which one, that we wrote a long time ago that I will not play live because it was somebody else that wrote the lyrics. And I'm like, I just
going
don't
through the
connect
motions.
with it.
Yeah, going through the motions.
And our drummer loves that song. And I'm like, I'm never playing it. Ever, ever, ever. Like, just do it because they want it, whatever, you know, but...
He sings.
Yeah, he can sing it. He can sing it. Yep.
Any plans that you can talk about on touring for 2020?
You've got the album releasing in March.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually going to be people here tonight that we're hoping to tour with. We're in Oklahoma City, so if you know, do the math, what bands live out here, but you probably know them, but we're not going to talk about it because they're going to come out tonight, and if we do a good job, then we'll go on the road with them, so we got to do a good job. But, you know, obviously when an album drops, there's just tour. So we have a bunch of stuff in the works. There's about 6 or 7 festivals, I think, all over the map.
Get yourself out there in front of everybody.
Do you prefer the festival type shows or the smaller shows like I mean, I say smaller, but like these more intimate type shows?
1,000 people's pretty intimate. For me personally, I want to connect with as many people as possible. The one thing I do like about the more intimate shows is that you can kind of go out and mingle a little more without, you know, you can't do that in an arena setting. You can't you can't go out to the merch table and spend 3-4 hours. We used to do that. Like at some of the festivals, we would sit at the merch area and just, but then my voice, it's like, it's very important that this is rested. And so I've actually over time found that playing and doing my performance as much as possible up there and showing people who we are with that setting, and I can't give everybody all of me. Otherwise, like, I won't have a voice to perform for you.
Next night they're not going to get it. The next
Yeah.
town's not going to get as much.
Yeah, I mean, 2 days ago, I went to the ER 2 times this tour.
Oh no.
You can Lysol this microphone after we're done. The first time, I brought a girl on stage in Detroit, and I was like, "Can I kiss you to sing this song with me?" And she's just as friends, you know. And she was like, "Yeah, but I'm sick," and I was like, "That's fine, you know, that's totally fine. I don't care." And I kissed her, and then I got sick, and I went to the emergency room.
Oh no!
But it actually wasn't. I don't think it was her that got me sick. It was just being out in the cold, and it's just going around really sick right now.
Yeah.
So I went to the ER because that's the only place my insurance would take it. Sounds dramatic, but they gave me steroids, so everybody was joking around about how I'm like about to punch bears and like fight dragons and stuff. But it helped with the inflammation because my throat was super sore. And then luckily it was a day off. So the day off in the ER, that was like 3 hours, and then a couple days go by and we have another day off, and I wake up in the morning and I'm swollen again, and I'm like, what's happening? So I went to a different hospital, and they were like, "We'll swab your throat," and I had strep throat. So yeah, so I'm on antibiotics. Don't worry, it's been 2 days. So
oh my gosh.
So it is. Last night was really rough. Luckily, everybody said it sounded good. I don't know how we got through the set, and I've just been shutting up for the most of the time. Yeah. So I've been, laying low a little bit the last couple days, but yeah, I do have Lysol wipes for this.
So how would your family members describe your music to somebody that has never heard it?
My mom likes to work out to it. She goes to the gym.
Awesome. Cool.
She also goes to Planet Fitness. Tag Planet Fitness in this so that we can get memberships.
Right, there you go.
We have told a couple other bands, so we got them on the, what. But no, she likes to work out to it. She thinks, I didn't even know my mom listened to our music until, one show when she was singing along. And I was like, how do you know the words? And this isn't even your style. She likes country music, So she's like, what? I was like, you were singing Catch Me When I Fall, Mom. And she's like, oh, yeah, I work out to this all the time.
That's awesome.
It's really cute.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Only when at the gym. It gives her some energy.
Probably keeps the pace up a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Don't want to take up much more of your time, but...
Well, after this, I'm probably just going to go hide in my hole and quiet and put tape on. I was thinking of getting tape over my mouth and just because I can't stop myself from talking. I love to talk.
How funny.
I have to hide. Otherwise, I'll just ramble on and on and on, and people are like, okay, and they are always telling me to shut up. Shut up, you're on vocal rest. I'm like,
That
it's
is
I'm
so
always
funny.
grounded.
Did they get you a chalkboard or anything so you can at least converse through the chalkboard?
Right? No, it's just I just
them all off.
Right. I just they look at me and they're like, shh. And I'm like,
Thank you so much. We are definitely looking forward to this show tonight. You guys put on an awesome show because we have seen it. So
I'm looking forward to the bigger stage.
Yes,
Smaller stages here in the city. I'm looking forward to the bigger stage.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a very exciting night. That's for sure.